Pittsburgh Steelers inside linebackers coach and head defensive assistant Brian Flores might be headed out of Pittsburgh. So, Brian Flores, he was last the head coach for the Miami Dolphins a couple seasons ago, but this season he was signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the offseason, and the only reason why he took such a lesser role in being an inside linebackers coach and not a defensive coordinator or a head coach position is because of his unknowns in his lawsuit that's going on right now versus the Miami Dolphins. And no team really wanted to take a chance on him, but the Pittsburgh Steelers did, hiring him in that position. So, Brian Flores, now this season, is a hot name in the coaching rounds. Cleveland Browns have asked permission by the Steelers to interview him as a defensive coordinator or just a coaching position in general. So, the Denver Broncos are also in hot need of a coach, and they will probably ask permission as well to interview Brian Flores. So, Brian Flores might be headed out of Pittsburgh for a bigger role. But looking at how much Brian Flores has meant to the Steelers, just look at the inside linebackers. Devin Bush, for example. Devin Bush last season was kind of unplayable at times because he wasn't able to stop the run. But this season, he took a step. Even though it wasn't the star step that we expected when the team drafted him a couple seasons ago, it was a step in the right direction, and it was a step of improvement in all areas of his game. He looked like he was more physical out there, and you just have to think, how much is that based off of Brian Flores' coaching and his hard-nosed style? And also, looking at Robert Spillane last season and all those seasons before that was unplayable in pass coverage. He was only a guy where you would play him in a run-stopping situation. But this season, Robert Spillane took a huge step. He was an all-down linebacker, especially in the second half of the season and after the bye week. He was a guy where you play him in all three downs, and he was probably this year's most reliable inside linebacker this season in the second half. I know Miles Jack, you're going to think about him, but for me, watching it, Robert Spillane was the Steelers' go-to guy. And he was a guy who played the most in the second half of the season because he was a guy who could do all areas of the game, but he couldn't do that, being an undrafted guy many seasons back. So you just have to think, how much did Brian Flores, who is a defensive guy, who is a guy who's seen it at the highest of levels as a head coach, how much did that mean to Robert Spillane and the other inside linebackers, having a head coaching guy just specified on that one position? That must have meant so much. So when the Steelers hear, and when the Steelers fans hear, that Brian Flores' name is going around with other teams like the Cleveland Browns, you have to hate that because he meant so much to the Steelers linebackers this season in taking steps. And him leaving would leave a huge hole in the Steelers defense. He's also the defensive assistant. So you just have to think, how much did he mean to Terrell Austin as being a first-time defensive coordinator in the NFL? How much does that mean to have a head coach and a hard-nosed coach and a defensive-minded coach helping him in the background? So this season, this offseason, Brian Flores' name is going around, and teams realize that there's not a chance to be taken on him. He's a really good coach, and he deserves another shot at a defense coordinator position or at least a head coaching position. So let me know down in the comments below. How do you feel about Brian Flores' influence this season on the Steelers defense? How do you feel about him? Do you want him to stay, or do you think he should go pursue a more high-level coaching position? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well. If you like Steelers content, analysis, and reports, like the video, turn on notifications down below for this channel, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.